नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JVN Dr. Dharmendra Ahuja, Director Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today my topic is continuation to previous topic, that is antimicrobial general consideration. So in general consideration we will see some basic definitions so that we will be having good understanding of antimicrobials. So students, in previous session we have studied few definitions of antimicrobial related general consideration. Here also, in this session also, we will see few more definition. In this session basically we will cover three major definitions. First is spectrum, antimicrobial spectrum. Second is antimicrobial resistance, and third is superinfection. So first is antimicrobial spectrum. Antimicrobial spectrum is the coverage which a antimicrobial agent provide against the organism is called as spectrum. Suppose if a agent is called broad spectrum, then it is understood that it is covering higher type of organism, like it is covering gram positive, gram negative both. Then it is called as broad spectrum. And if a antimicrobial agent is called narrow spectrum, it means it is covering lesser number of organism, or it is killing or inhibiting lesser number of organism. Then the antimicrobial agent is called narrow spectrum. Broad spectrum kills gram positive, negative both. Narrow spectrum either kill gram positive or gram negative. So example of broad spectrum antibiotics we can take is tetracycline. Example of narrow spectrum, for gram positive we can take penicillin, for gram negative we can take aminoglycosides. So these were the few examples. This was about the spectrum. Now second is resistance. Resistance is if a microbe becomes resistant to a certain antimicrobial agent, then this phenomena is called as resistance. Means if a microbe makes himself or changes himself in such a manner that it do not get affected by that antibiotic or antimicrobial agent, then this phenomena is called as microbial resistance. What I have told, microbial resistance is prevention of or creation of safeguard against particular antibiotic or antimicrobial agent by a organism. It is called as resistant. Suppose corona is not getting killed by any particular drug, then we will say that corona is resistant to that particular drug. But how it actually this is developed by internal changes of the organism. When we give any antibiotic to a person, any antimicrobial or antibiotic to a person, the organism gets alteration in its genomic structure or external structure and makes himself safer against or makes himself resistant against that antibiotic or antimicrobial agent, so that the agent cannot kill that organism. So this phenomena is called as resistance. Now resistance can be developed by a organism through different mechanism, either affecting directly on the mechanism of antimicrobial agent, or either changing its proteinous structure, either changing its genomic structure, either changing its coverage level, external coverage. So there are different ways by which the microorganism generates resistance against any antimicrobial agent. Generally, it depends on the mechanism of antimicrobial agent. They usually see the mechanism of antimicrobial agent and they alter accordingly themselves. So this was about resistance. One more word come, cross resistance. It is a condition when a microorganism is resistant to one antibiotic, it shows resistance to another similar antibiotic. Suppose any microorganism has become resistant to aminoglycoside or kanamycin, so the organism will show resistant against gentamicin also. So this phenomena is called as cross resistance. If a organism is showing resistance against two similar antibiotics. Now one more term comes, that is superinfection. It is also asked in various competitive exams, what is superinfection? So superinfection is when we take a broad spectrum antibiotic, it kills our intestinal flora or it kills the organism present in our intestine. Actually, those organisms which are present in our intestinal flora are helpful for our body. They help in increasing our immunity. There are certain organisms which are fruitful for our body and there are certain organisms which are harmful for our body. So organisms which are found in our intestinal flora are useful for our body. So when we take an antibiotic of broad spectrum, means of large coverage, then it kills the organism present in our intestinal flora also, like lactobacillus and other flora organisms are there. So whenever we take a broad spectrum antibiotic, suppose we are taking tetracycline, that is a broad spectrum antibiotic, so it kills the infection but also kills the organism present in our intestinal flora which are helpful for us. Now because of that our immunity gets suppressed because useful organisms have also been killed. So in this case what happens, the body become prone to another kind of infection. So suppose we have taken for any infection a broad spectrum antibiotic, example tetracycline, so it will kill the infectious organism but it will also kill our intestinal flora organism, and by which the body will become susceptible to another infection of different kind. So this phenomena is called as superinfection. Or when another organism infects to our body due to use of or due to killing of our intestinal flora or useful organism, another infection affects our body. So this phenomena is called as superinfection. So students, superinfection occurs generally with broad spectrum antibiotic. For example, you can take tetracycline. So in this class we have studied some more basic principles of general chemotherapy. We have seen what is spectrum, broad spectrum, narrow spectrum. Then we have seen what is resistance and cross resistance. Then we have seen what is superinfection, what is flora. So these were few additional definitions, and the basic principle of chemotherapy is still having few more topics, so we will be covering in upcoming sessions. So thank you students, thank you for listening these few more definition related to basic principles of chemotherapy. I hope you have understood, and this session is powered by Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, digital version 2, and I hope you have understood the topic. If you have not understood or if you have any query related to this, you can write in the comment box and I will resolve your query. So thank you students, thank you for listening me. Thanks a lot.